Back in the 1990s, one phrase almost always guaranteed a quality cartoon. Steven Spielberg Presents. It was a name with a lot of pull in the animation community, and with good reason. That phrase started the new golden age of Warner Brothers animation. It produced 3 hit classics and a cult favorite. And while the phrase does have its duds, the phrase still gave a lot of credibility to the series attached to it. Steven Spielberg in total produced 6 cartoons for Warner Brothers. So it seemed only right that when Spielberg started his new movie and animation studio, along with Disney alumni Jeffrey Katzenberg, DreamWorks, they would try to capitalize on this phrase as well. The first animated TV series that came from DreamWorks was in the winter of 1998. This would become the last series to use the phrase Steven Spielberg Presents, and the second to last animated series Spielberg would produce. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I am Tunamp, and this is Steven Spielberg Presents Toonsylvania. Now let's get this misconception out of the way. Spielberg did not write, compose music, direct, voice, or animate any of these series. He hires these people, who, in turn, hire other people. He also gives these people money to make the best looking, written, and sounding cartoons. He also has to review the scripts and give notes. Spielberg is an executive producer. So you would think when he moved to a new studio, these people who he put his trust in would move with him. That did not happen. Instead, he got mostly new writers, along with the creator of Toonsylvania, Bill Kopp. Now, Bill Kopp was famous for another Fox Kids show, Eekstravaganza, so you should be familiar with his work. He also created Disney's Snookums and Me, so you also should know that he has his ups and downs. Also, this is not the last show we'll talk about when it comes to Bill Kopp. Much like Animaniacs and Eek, Toonsylvania is comprised of 3 different shorts in one episode. We have the main short with Victor, Phil, and Igor, a mad scientist, a Frankenstein monster, and, Igor, and their day-to-day lives. Next came a rotation cartoon. Usually one of 2 cartoons would fill the slot. The first is The Night of the Living Fred, a sitcom featuring a family of zombies. The other was a B-movie parody featuring a pair of Abbott and Costello characters. Right afterwards, we would have a song or a science minute with Igor, and to finish off the episode, we would have Melissa Screech's Morbid Morals. It's where Igor would read a poem to Phil featuring the character Melissa Screech. There's not really all that much to it. So did the series live up to the expectations of the phrase, Steven Spielberg Presents? Well, the animation is good, the music is good, and the acting is good. The writing, well, remember when I said Bill Kopp has his ups and downs? That is what best describes Toonsylvania's writing. With the previous Spielberg series, the writing was on par with the slapstick. Half the time, that is not the case for Toonsylvania. Oh, it does have its moments. There are excellent moments, hilarious moments in this series. But you can tell that Bill Kopp is the man in charge of the first season. The man's MO is violence to the limit. He was like this with Eek, and he was like this with Snookums and Me, and he was like this for Toonsylvania. Honestly, if the man took over the Roadrunner cartoons, I would not mind this at all. Now, Night of the Living Fred, okay, I'm gonna stop calling it that and call it what it should have been called. The Deadmans is one of the more clever shorts. By the way, can someone explain to me why this was edited out of Stickin' Around for Fox Kids?
It's about a brilliant lady scientist who discovers a cure for
whatever Pepperoni died of.
But we have an entire short in Toonsylvania dedicated to a dead dog? At least I think he's dead. It may have blinked once or twice. In fact, they talk about people and kids dying all the time in the series. The Melissa Screeches segment was okay. It reminds me of the Town That Santa Forgot Christmas special where they talk about this awful kid and the repercussions of what they did. There doesn't tend to be a happy ending to these stories. Toonsylvania is a strange show that I really couldn't compare to anything else. It relies too much on slapstick and morbid themes. And honestly, the morbid parts have been done smarter. Pretty much all versions of the Addams Family. Also, there's Invader Zim and the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. It's dark, but not smart dark. It's a little too obvious. Now don't get me wrong, it's a fun series, and it doesn't have to be smart for people to enjoy it. I still enjoyed it. And sure, the writing may have been met in the first season, but it's not the reason why it got canceled. That would have to do with Fox Kids scheduling in 1998. Toonsylvania was one of 5 new shows that aired in the winter of 1998. Fox Kids pretty much started the block anew. Where did they place Toonsylvania? Directly in the line of fire of Recess and Pepper Ann. There's that one Saturday morning block again. But honestly, Toonsylvania may have been strategically placed there. You see, when Recess is ending, if the kids changed the channel, they might have stumbled upon Toonsylvania. Even though they would have missed the first short, they would have been able to watch the second or third one without missing anything. This was a good plan by Fox. It didn't work, and the ratings continued to decline, so Fox tried something else. Enter No Yell Motel. Yeah, basically it was a bunch of custom bumpers that would air on a 2-hour block featuring Goosebumps, Erie, Indiana, The Other Dimension, and Toonsylvania. It was meh for what it was. It featured a vampire and a spider puppet, because you could totally tell that's what they are. I'm not even sure if that is a vampire. They would have a storyline that would last an episode or maybe the start of each show, but they never really did what One Saturday Morning did, because the lineup was still the same. They just added puppet bumpers. It would have been better if they split Toonsylvania up. Air one clip, then an episode of Goosebumps, aired another Toonsylvania clip, aired a short of Space Goofs, then aired Erie, Indiana, then another Toonsylvania clip, and then aired another episode of Space Goofs. And it's not hard to split up these episodes since they did that during the summer with Cartoon Cabana. But of course, they didn't do that, and of course, No Yell Motel ended after 2 months. Toonsylvania, however, got a second season, but Bill Kopp left the show due to, I guess, the phrase too many alpha dogs and not enough followers. Is that a phrase? So the writing was taken over by Steven Spielberg veteran Paul Rugg. This meant changes for the show. Did it improve the series? I don't know. I've only found 1 episode of the second season, and my favorite part was Jonathan Harris as a Norman Bates type character.
Oh, look, Mother, the sneaky little hunchback is taking the wimpy monster to the wimpy owl to see if he can scare anyone. Oh, Dr. Fick would be furious if he knew.
Seth, you get away from that window and come dig out Mommy's toe cheese!
Oh, yes, Mother.
Honestly, I was lucky enough to find some of season 1. Toonsylvania might be considered a lost series. So for the second season, Fox Kids moved the series to Monster Mondays at 3:30 p.m. It lasted for around 10 weeks before it was canceled. Rumor has it that Saban just wanted to burn through the episodes just so they could show more series that they produce. I'm not really sure that's the case, since they only really had 4 series that Saban produced on Fox Kids during the 98-99 season anyway. And really, that's about the same amount before Saban took over Fox Kids. So I'm not really sure that's a fair assessment of the situation. Anyway, if Toonsylvania had more exposure, and if One Saturday Morning wasn't a nuisance, I'm sure if the kids found it and actually watched it, I'm pretty sure the kids would have loved it. While Toonsylvania may not have been as smart as Animaniacs, the visuals are some of the best. Unfortunately, the series came out at the beginning of what would be Fox Kids' downfall. Now, the rumor has it that the series was supposed to air on ABC first. I cannot confirm this outside of, yeah, there was a deal with ABC to air DreamWorks sitcoms and dramas. So it does stand to reason that Toonsylvania was originally meant for ABC. If this is indeed the case, then it is understandable why it did not happen when Disney bought ABC. Because Katzenberg and Eisner were not the best of friends. They do not like each other. They made Robin Williams leave. He stole the Bug movie. They're not the best of friends. Now we mentioned that this was the very first animated TV series made by DreamWorks. In fact, it was the first animated anything from DreamWorks. And boy, did DreamWorks have big hopes for this series. There were action figures right when the show came out. Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain, as good as they were, did not have toys right away. They had to earn that. But Toonsylvania had video games. The show was canned before it came out. They also had Valentine's and fast food toys. DreamWorks was expecting Toonsylvania to be a hit, and it was not. Even with its all-star cast, it got canceled. With stars like Brad Garrett as Phil, a man who left the Casper series.
My name is Darla Doily, and I want to cut off your head.
Hey, Dolly said something mean to Phil.
Wayne Knight as Igor, a man Disney could not get to reprise his role in the Tarzan series. He must have read the script.
Hello, Igor.
Hello, Renfield.
And David Warner as Dr. Vic Frankenstein. The man has the voice of the gods, and the series failed.
Well, look underneath it then.
What? Why are you looking at me like that? Oh dear. The baby's on my head, isn't it?
In the March of 1999, 1 year after Toonsylvania premiered, DreamWorks Television Animation closed down shop for the first time after the failure of Toonsylvania and their other series, Invasion America. It would not be the last time this studio would stop their television division. They would do it 2 more times before it would catch on. Toonsylvania has almost all but disappeared from this world, with only a handful of episodes that can be found. Only a VHS tape of this series has been released. Oh, and it's been on Netflix in Brazil. As many old series that DreamWorks has resurrected and released on DVD and streaming, maybe it's time for them to re-release Toonsylvania. I've started a petition to bring this series to DVD and online streaming. We need to convince DreamWorks that there is a demand for this series. There will be a link in the description and in the comments. Won't you please join me to help bring this series back from the grave? I'm Toonamp. Thanks for watching.
So next time you're out too late, come home. You just can't be too hasty. Unless you'd like the boogeyman to find out if you're tasty.
Hello everyone, Toonamp here. We're trying something a little bit different here. We're going to play Caption This Picture. You see this picture here? It needs a caption. What you can do is go to my Twitter page at Toonamp Reviews, look for the post with this picture, and give a caption to it. Be as creative as you want to be with it. And of course, have fun. My favorite captions from you will be in my next video review. The link to this Twitter post will be in the description and in the comment section.
Now be a good doggy, Frisky, and don't go running off. We're gonna play a nice game of fetch. This is gonna be great. Are you ready, Frisky? Ready, boy? Here we go! Go get it, boy.
What's a girl like you doing in a place like this? What are you two dimwits doing under my bed?
The doll master! The Darla Doily doll! She's evil!
Igor and Phil sleeping here with Doc?
Oh, shame on you, Mother. Shame! Stop it, Mother! Stop it!
It's the place where a mad scientist does his thing. Brain surgery, oil change. Boogeyman exists. And zombies live. Where?
I'm Darla Doily, and I'm going to make you into sausages.
Steven Spielberg presents an all-new Toonsylvania, Saturday at 9:30 on Fox Kids. Take the ride.